Hello, crypto friends. Joey here from TheChartGuys. I have been trading for 7 years, learning under Dan for 6 of them, and now live about 20 minutes away from him down here in North Carolina. And I'm here to talk about some crypto charts. So the big question is, is this a sell the news long-term top shaping on up? In hindsight, we did end up getting the sell the news, but it was not on the SEC approval. It was on the actual start of trading for the ETF. So if we go back in and just take a quick peek at that, got the big spike up, gave it all back pretty quickly. We'll go into details of what the breakdown ended up looking like in a little bit. But just to talk bigger picture top, because I know a lot of folks are chatting about that and wondering if this is a possibility, because we know that a 6-month lower high compared to all-time highs would not be shocking. What's going to need to happen for that to shape on up? Well, first we're going to need to lose weekly 12 EMA. So despite the very big pullback off the top 15%, we're still a good bit above this weekly 12 EMA. So bears have a lot more to prove if that is going to be the case. And then even when we lose weekly 12 EMA, we're still in a monthly uptrend. We're going to be looking for a monthly higher low, and then we'll need to lose the monthly 12 EMA. And that's the beauty of being in uptrends on so many time frames, is that as soon as you lose one, you've got another one to fall back on. And then you lose that one, you've got another one to fall back on. And I know I'm often kind of talking about the uranium space just because it's such a good example for it. CCJ has been in a monthly uptrend for ages. And we've had points in time where it's like, okay, well, daily 12 EMA is the guide for full bull control. Well, when you lose that, you're zooming out to the weekly, and you can just see this weekly 12 EMA has been riding for so long. So when you're in uptrends on all time frames, you get multiple shots to attempt to salvage things and keep things together. So are bulls pleased with the pullback off the top? No, but ebbs and flows, ups and downs of charts it's part of a healthy chart. You never just go straight up. But, we have recent history. I'll do it on the Coinbase chart, or not Coinbase itself, BTC, USD. We have recent history of these tightening ranges, whether you want to look at it on the quarterly or on the 6-month. Back here in 2019, nobody thought that we weren't just going back to new all-time highs, or not nobody, but a lot of folks thought that, we're so close, we're not going to pull back down. Lower high most likely scenario, that one looks best on the quarterly here. Lower high most likely scenario, we got the tightening range and move on up eventually. So is that what we're going to see now? I don't know. We'll go one step at a time. And to this note, I know a lot of folks are like, well, we've got the halvening coming up. How could we possibly go down into the halvening? I am very confident that at some point, not saying it's going to be this time, but at some point, the traditional behavior into and around the halvening is going to be different, because the markets are not here to just hand us gains on a silver platter. You got to stay sharp and you've got to be agile. So we don't need to make these predictions. We'll just go one step at a time. And for now, bigger picture, we're watching that weekly 12 EMA. So in the shorter term, we've got a daily bounce underway. Big pullback off the top, break of the daily stair step, daily bounce underway. This is certainly a potential daily bear flag at this point. For me, bulls need to get up and over 4,400 to start talking about negating a daily bear flag. And the big question will be, do bulls bounce big enough on the daily time frame to create room for a higher low to regain the daily uptrend and have us looking back up to the recent highs? Or do bears keep the bounce weak and confirm a daily downtrend and having us look back down essentially to 40K? We've got a handful of bottoms down here, but we've got 40K right at the weekly 12 EMA. You've got all those supports just above the key psychological level. So that is going to be the key guide there. And if that's lost, then we say, okay, we have monthly consolidation underway. Now let's gauge the health of monthly consolidation. So at this point, bulls are certainly struggling with the bounce. They got the 4-hour uptrend yesterday and failed to see any follow through, flushed down this morning, and then we got a classic Bitcoin V-shaped bounce right back to the highs. So 15-minute higher low, lower high, lower low. That got our hourly consolidation underway. And now we can say if bulls want to see daily bounce continuation. They need to confirm an hourly uptrend from here, and that is that. So not a whole ton more to say here. The biggest thing is that we've just all got to make sure that we have a game plan for whatever we get. And you can be saying, all right, well, I'm going to be an aggressive bull playing off of these lows, looking to see if 3-day 12 EMA can cling on and we keep the show on the road. Get your risk out of the equation, then you got a risk-free position. And if bulls keep going, then fine and dandy, that's great. Or you can be an aggressive bear and say, I'm looking for this daily lower high. I'm looking for this to be a complete euphoria, sell the news top, like 2017 when the futures started trading for crypto. You can do both. Like Dan today on MSOS, he had a risk-free long from the low of the day, and then he had a risk-free short from the high of the day. And then you just wait and see how those two positions battle out. One's going to stop out, one's going to profit. So definitely encourage people to keep your mind open to both sides. And whether you're doing it all on Bitcoin, I know most exchanges probably won't let you long and short at the same time. Maybe you're long in spot and you're shorting perps or something like that. That's one way to do it. Another way is to pick on an altcoin or something like that. We've got plenty of instruments within here, but probably good to have exposure in both directions for whatever we get. You get your risk out of the equation. If it sticks and works out, you're great. If it doesn't, then you stop out. So another thing to certainly take note of here, the stock miners, looking at Mara, getting smoked off the top here. So that's not a great sign for Bitcoin. A lot of times you'll see these miners kind of lead the moves, and we're testing weekly 12 EMA here now. So if bulls show up, then we can say this is still decently chill. But at this point, looking at the monthly, we've got a monthly higher high without follow through. So is this a 6-month lower high shaping up on Mara as well? Time will tell, but we've got to keep our minds open. So let's take a little step back. Before the ETF headline and on that stream the night that it came out, we were talking about backburners, using backburners to evaluate health. And this played out really nicely in how they just failed one by one all the way down. So I'm going to turn on the RSI projector tool, and we'll just go right back to this top here. So market open, big push up, big pullback, 5-minute oversold, hitting right here. 5-minute back burner gets underway, lower lows. That's red flag number one. Then we zoom out to the 15-minute. Are we going to get a 15-minute back burner? We come down, we pitter around, 15-minute oversold hits here, no bounce, just continue all the way down. All right, well, it's not the strongest look for bulls, but as long as hourly oversold marks a daily higher low, then bulls will be fine. Hourly oversold hits on this candle very quickly. We see that this is not bouncing. So within like a day, we fell through all of our back burners, and that tells us that something's different. And even if you waited for the hourly back burner to fail, we end up still getting almost 7% further downside from there. So in the context of the sell the news, seeing that first 5-minute oversold fail, there were the red flags were out there pretty quickly, especially with the volume and the whole kit and caboodle there. So that's just a good example of how you try these things. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to like bet the house and bank on it holding or something. Let's look at the 5-minute back burner off of the top and see what we could have done to play it. Folks at this point know that I love stair steps. It's my absolute favorite entry. You got a 5-minute stair step down into 5-minute oversold conditions. You very easily can make your entry here on the break of this candle, put your stop down below the low, and let's see, it'd be 0.69% to the downside. So you can make these aggressive attempts with a stop if it works. And, all the people mocking the sell the news crew and this and that are right, and we're going right up to 60K, then you've got a nice position. If it doesn't, you stop out and you lose very little. So that is such a key component in trading. And you can try the back burners all the way down and fail them all and not lose the house because you're managing your risk properly. So let's look into this hourly consolidation, see what we're going to be using for the guide. Looks like bulls are trying to show up and get this hourly higher low set. Got a little 5-minute uptrend, so that'll be the guide here for the short-term momentum shift. And bulls will need to break the high of the previous hourly candle to get that higher low set. And then we're looking up to 43,434. That was a mind melter to say there. So let's see, let's look at ETH, certainly holding on much better here. We've got a daily higher low now set at 24.55. So we can say as long as 24.55 is holding, ETH bulls maintain full control. It was a nice tightening range on the 4-hour. High, low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, double bottom, bull break. That's the daily higher low getting set. And now we can watch this little 4-hour uptrend as the guide as we look to see, are bears going to form a daily lower high compared to 27.17, or can bulls confirm a daily bull flag? I would say, since we're holding the daily 12 EMA, that the bull flag remains in the cards, but that's likely going to be dependent on can Bitcoin see solid bounce follow through. If Bitcoin ends up being a daily bear flag, then ETH is likely to set a lower high compared to 27.17. And something to keep in mind with ETH here, when we look at ETH BTC, we know it's been a beast of a move off the lows. We've hardly seen daily consolidation as we just go sideways at the highs, which bulls will definitely take. But we can't lose context that we're now testing the monthly 12 EMA from the underside on freshly bear-crossed EMAs. So would it be shocking for bears to show up and defend that and see, at least some weekly consolidation from here? No, it wouldn't at all. But do we need to predict that that's what's going to happen? You've just got to have enough of an imagination to get yourself into positions with asymmetrical risk to reward. You need to have enough of an imagination to do that, and then your risk management and position management carries you the rest of the way. A little bit of technical structure and foundation to give you an edge, then some imagination to see what things could do, and then managing your position with stop losses, partial profits, and all of that. So do we have to predict that this is going to reject here? No, we can say, what would the signs be? The first sign would be losing daily 12 EMA. We've still got a ton of room for that. And I'm not really considering this daily consolidation personally because we maintained a 4-hour uptrend throughout. So for me, not daily consolidation. If we lose these lows, that would be daily consolidation. And then we'd be looking for a higher low. And do we hold 12 EMA? If we do, everything's fine. Bulls are still cruising. If we lose 12 EMA, then bears are making enough room for a daily lower high, attempt to confirm a daily downtrend. So we just got to go one step at a time, and we got to know what are our safety nets, what are our guides, what is healthy, what is unhealthy. Very often it's as simple as your trends, your back burners, and your EMAs. And it's all in a relative sense because a bigger picture ETH bull is saying, okay, well, I don't care if we get weekly consolidation. I'm looking for a weekly higher low playing off of the bottom here on ETH BTC. So while a shorter term trader might get pushed out of their positions if we see this, someone else is saying, oh, perfect, now I'm interested in buying. It's always this passing of the torch between different time frame operators. So we've always got to be clear within ourselves. What time frames are important to me? What do I care about? If you're just a day trader and playing an oversold bounce, you care a lot about the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute. If you're a long-term trader, you care about the daily, weekly, monthly. So always got to ask yourself what you're about with that. So ETH BTC, just tightening range daily inside bars. If those break bear, that'll be that daily consolidation. And if they break bull, then we're looking up to the highs there. And that's simply that. So looking at LTC, so of our names that we were looking for those daily lower highs in, LTC was in that group as well. And it was the only one that didn't get the daily lower high. We ended up breaking this 75.94 as bulls defended support down here on the monthly pretty aggressively. And the big question will be, can LTC bulls shape up a monthly higher low and try to regain a monthly uptrend to ultimately shape up a quarterly higher low? Or do LTC bears confirm a monthly downtrend and have us looking back down to the lows, ultimately at 40. We'll have a little bit of support at 47.50 ahead of that. But, it's not the cleanest trading environment on these smaller time frames. Definitely a bit of chop within there. So nice move up for LTC, but you've got to get the daily trend change if we're going to be confident in follow through. And now at this point, there's enough pullback on the daily that bears are going to be looking for a lower high compared to 77.10. And if we look at LTC, BTC, we can see this relative weakness here. So you got to get a daily higher low on LTC, BTC if that's going to shape up on LTC, USD. And then you need Bitcoin cooperating and seeing some daily bounce continuation as well. So the big thing on LTC, BTC, so we were watching the 3-day 12 EMA. It's been acting as resistance for months, and we closed up and over. So if LTC USD bulls are going to shape up a monthly higher low and try to regain a monthly uptrend to shape up a quarterly higher low, then this first step on LTC BTC is going to be reconfirming a 3-day uptrend here. And just as we were talking about the benefits of being in uptrends on all time frames for Bitcoin and talking about the uranium example, bears have the opposite. If you're, or I suppose it's the same, but just opposite direction, if you're going to the downside. So this is a counter trend trade, trying to peg the relative weakness shift between Litecoin and Bitcoin is counter trend, because we're just in this big old ratio bear market here. And the reason I bring this up is even if you get the 3-day uptrend, then you're just on to the next boss, and it'll be weekly 12 EMA. And you could get that 3-day uptrend, hoorah, we got it, and then the weekly 12 EMA bogs us out. Or we could see follow through, and then we're going to do the same thing on the weekly, and you're going to need the weekly trend change. So you just got to go step by step by step. And when you're playing against these trends, those steps, it's just another boss that you're facing. When you're playing with the trends, all of those steps, you have another savior waiting behind you to try to keep things constructive. So that's what we'll be watching here on LTC, BTC. Can we get the 3-day trend change? We've got just a daily stair step, 4-hour downtrend as the guide of this consolidation. So taking a peek at SOL, got a nice daily EQ. Low, high, higher low, lower high, and a quick higher low set here at 92.97. And the direction this daily range breaks will tell us, are we getting a weekly bull flag, weekly higher low set, and not even testing the 12 EMA, certainly a potential bull flag? Or are we going down to look at that 12 EMA test? And on many names, the 12 EMA is going to be the guide for, midterm bull control here. And this is another name. Would it be shocking to see a 6-month lower high compared to 259.90? No, not at all. Do we have a ton of room where that could form? Yes, absolutely. So what are our signs that this is going to be shaping up? Losing the weekly uptrend, losing weekly 12 EMA, confirming a weekly downtrend, and then ultimately losing the monthly uptrend. All of these things need to happen. So bulls have the trends in their favor, but we know what it will look like if these 6-month lower highs start to shape on up. So looking at ADA, this was another one of our daily lower high crew, definitely bounced far, got pretty close to that 63.70, but daily lower high set, and now we're just getting a daily higher low set. So if bulls wanted to regain some momentum and get a weekly higher low set right off the 12 EMA, they need to confirm a daily uptrend. But at this point, with the depth of this pullback, I would anticipate a lower high compared to this 61.74 is going to be the most likely scenario. So perhaps we get a tightening range similar to SOL on the daily time frame, and then the direction that breaks will tell us weekly higher low or red flag, because at that point, if it were to break bear, we would be losing the weekly 12 EMA and potentially shaping up a 6-month or quarterly lower high, however you want to look at it there. So a lot of alts right now have a decently similar look to this, and we can kind of use we can use the other alts to determine where's our relative strength stand. So something like LTC has relative weakness here today because the daily higher low is not set. We still have the daily stair step. I think Matic also still has the daily stair step, whereas like ADA has its higher low set. Let's peek around Sushi. technically has its higher low set just by a skosh. So, if you are looking for these alt higher lows, now that we've got some of them starting to form, maybe you're keeping eyes on something like Matic to see if it can shape up its higher low, see if LTC can shape up its higher low now that we're having others doing it. Sol, very different look from everybody else here, but also shaping up a little daily higher low. Let's move on. Link. Link had some very nice relative strength, and if we look at Link BTC, we can certainly see that. Just ripped off the low, relative weakness here today, getting daily consolidation underway. But we knew that Link had been a bit of a stinker over the past couple months, one of the only alts that had monthly consolidation. But we also know that we're looking for a monthly higher low, and it's looking like it could be shaping up. Let's go back to Link USD here. Come on, where are you? So main reason it's looking like the monthly higher low is shaping up is because we lost the weekly uptrend with the bear break of 1363, and then we're right into a weekly bounce. So bulls are going to need to regain a weekly uptrend eventually if they want a monthly higher low set. But we're seeing that relative weakness that we had in Link now turn into relative strength. So you got to see the USD pairing do it, and you've got to see the BTC pairing do it as well, which is not nearly as strong up at the highs, but at this point, big enough bounce on the weekly to form a weekly higher low and try to get that weekly uptrend there. So what else we got? ETC, we know it got the big old pump with ETH, and it's a bit weaker here at this point. So just watching this daily stair step down, it broke by a nibble here today. Let's see, 5 pennies. Let's look at our structure on the 4 hour and see. Okay, so yeah, it was a break of lower highs, but no follow through at this point. So we can kind of treat this just as a sideways range and say that if bulls want to get daily bounce follow through, they simply need to get back through 2788. And if 2611, a little multi-bottom down here, is lost, then we're looking to this daily 12 EMA. So let's check our back burner though. I haven't looked at this yet. So not a great look, because in the strongest uptrends, hourly oversold is marking your daily higher low. We hit it back here on Sunday, and we've gone to lower lows. It doesn't mean that a daily higher low still can't shape up, but when you don't get your daily higher low set from hourly oversold, it decreases the odds that you can go to higher highs and confirm a daily bear bull flag. So at this point, daily resistance 21% away. I would say a lower high compared to the 3248 is the most likely scenario on that next bounce. And let's just rip through these, the lower high alt crew. Matic, daily stair step down, big enough bounce. We're going to be looking for a daily higher low. And then the question will be, can bulls reconfirm a daily uptrend, or do we get an EQ? Because of the depth of the pullback, I would anticipate a lower high compared to 95.82. It's the most likely scenario. Sushi, big bounce, daily higher low is now set. Do we get a daily uptrend back to bulls to regain some structure by getting over 123, or do we EQ up? It's another one where I'd say an EQ is probably the most likely scenario. ICP, tight and sideways. It is also a daily EQ, but it's a different structure from everybody else that we're looking at. We've got high, low, lower high, higher low, lower high, and anything over 1179 going to be another higher low. And let's look into the weekly, see what our implications are here. So if that breaks bear, we just have deeper weekly consolidation, and we'll look down to the weekly 12 EMA. So it wouldn't be so dire if it were to break bear. Wouldn't be so dire. So APT, another one of the stronger bouncers, and this one had that outside bar on Friday that a handful of the alts had as well. But I'm just going to treat this as one move up. Actually, maybe I'm not. Maybe I am not. I will treat this as a little daily uptrend. And that is, although it's marginal, we did break the high of the previous weekly candle, so that is a weekly higher low set. So the one thing that is without debate is 779, the low, is the key support here. If that were to be lost, that'd be monthly consolidation shaping up. As far as our structure within, we can be watching this kind of ugly daily uptrend and go ahead and say that anything over 851 would be a daily high or low. And let's see if we got a 4-hour downtrend guide. Yep. So just a dinky 4-hour lower high there, but that resistance is 959, and bull is going to need to regain a 4-hour uptrend to get a daily high or low set compared to 851.25. If we were to lose 851.25, then that's when we're talking about, okay, maybe bears are going to try to take a crack at these weekly higher lows. So uni definitely one of the weaker ones off the low, but now we're just seeing rotation. So the stronger ones off the low are now cooling off, like LTC. Uni was a weaker one off the low, and now we got bulls trying to reconfirm a daily uptrend. So if they break 697, that would get it done, and we've got a daily higher low set at 630. So let's look at our weekly time frame. So that's bulls trying to officially defend weekly higher low support, but we will have to watch out for potential weekly head and shoulders here. A good deal of space for a weekly lower high compared to 826. And yeah, that's all I'm going to look at for now. I've got a chart guys stream at 3, so I want to make sure that I go through chat and look at what y'all want to look at. So let's see, what's up, what's up? Oh, it's Downster. How you doing, man? Happy to see you. I'd love to have you back in the chart, guys. If you you know where to come when you're ready. Michael remembered the Lions talk. That was so hype. So hype. First playoff win in 32 years. Lots of pain. Lots of pain along the way, and it was nice. Let's see. Coinbase case might push alt, says E.R. Berg. Yeah, you know, I really don't know much about the case, so I don't want to... certainly don't want to speak about something I don't know much about, but yeah, I suppose we'll see. John Nolan, short BC. I'm assuming that's Bitcoin. Yeah, it's, you know, pending where you got in, you're nice and comfortable. If you're in from up here, you're chilling at this point. But if you're shorting from down here, I would watch out for some daily bounce. And anybody who's not in and wants to short BTC, you got to wait for the 4-hour trend to, I guess our 4-hour trend got kind of jacked up here. Let's see if bulls can get some more follow through and get a clear 4-hour trend. And then you'd be looking for like a 4-hour head and shoulders, a 4-hour rising wedge, something like that. Some weakening in the 4-hour chart to tell us a daily lower highs shaping up. And aggressive swing trading bears are looking for that. If you did not get in on the initial sell of the news and you're saying, all right, I've seen enough, we got Mara coming down, you know, maybe this is a 6-month lower high, you know, aggressive swing trading bears or hedging bulls are looking for daily lower highs on this bounce, looking to see if bears can confirm the downtrend. One thing in general that bulls do like to see, though, is the alts are holding on well. A lot of times you will see the alts lead the way in the space more often than not. We've still got names hitting fresh blue skies, and there will always be a few stragglers that continue on to blue skies while everything else is dumping, or that at least performs well when everything else is dumping. But, you know, there's not serious red flags in the alt space. Like, you will see them get smoked off at some point where it's just like, you look at your alt watch list and everything's double-digit percentage to the downside. And that's a very serious character change. And we don't have that right now. So Bitcoin bulls do like that. Let's see. SUI USD for mass trepidations. It took me a second to read. It's tough with no spaces, no capitalization. SUI USD, we'll look at that on Coinbase. So speaking of blue sky bulls, SUI is one, and daily consolidation just getting underway here. So we probably had 4-hour 12 EMA rider, 4-hour 12 EMA rider. That's now been lost. We've broken the daily stair step, but we still have a good bit of support down here. Looking at 123 and 122, and ultimately, we've broken the daily stair step, but if bears are going to see follow through, what do they need to do? They need to confirm a 4-hour downtrend. Next, bounce. So you got a 4-hour stair step, maybe hourly, or I'm going to guess 30-minute 12 EMA. 30-minute 12 EMA. It always feels good to do that. It's a reminder that I've looked at way too many charts. But 30-minute 12 EMA is going to be the guide for this 4-hour consolidation. You got the 4-hour stair step to make it simple if you want to do that. And then we'll look and see, can bears confirm the downtrend? Let's go back to the hourly and look if our back burner is hitting. So we're hitting this back burner right now. We are at this back burner right now. So what you can do, a way to play the back burner, if you're not like scaling into it, which I just really wouldn't recommend, to be honest, because daily consolidation will be healthy as long as we hold the 12 EMA. That's double-digit percentages away. So I'd rather pick a spot and say, this is either it or I'm wrong. So when you have a nice 30-minute 12 EMA, I call this the EMA rider. You wait to get up and over, you fish that low, you got your stop at the bottom, and then you look to see if you can get the trend change and get that bounce underway. So that's probably how I'd go about trading it. Or let's see, we could get a little bit of a falling wedge. If we get a bounce up like that, maybe come down another little lower low like that, can be looking at a falling wedge as a means to play it. But gotta respect that, it's pretty aggressive. Devin from the TheChartGuys, absolute amazing trader and an even better human. We kind of have this joke it's like, oh, the top's in, I'm in, just because we like buying dips. And sometimes that means buying a dip right after you break the daily stair step. But as I trade more, the more I'm finding that kind of meme-y joke we have is something that we should just stop doing. So we're trying to tighten up into 2024, that is for sure. So yeah, that's that on SUI. As long as bulls hold daily 12 EMA, consolidation's healthy. If that's lost, that'd be the first time we got some weekly consolidation. You got tons of room for a weekly higher low, and that is that. But certainly short-term momentum looking to shift to the bears after a nearly 100% move off of our last daily pivot. Let's see, SEI for Mr. Downster, SEI USDT. So this one's another blue sky bull. It's getting very close. We got a double top right now. Maybe not quite a double top, couple pennies off, but it's the same deal that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. As long as daily 12 EMA is support, bulls are in full control. So we've got daily higher low support at 64.07, and we're red here today, decently red. And let's look at our 4-hour structure. So basically you got bulls kind of failing to set that healthy 4-hour higher low. It's not over yet as we break that low without much follow through, but ultimately you get that first green candle right off the 12 EMA, you break the high of the previous 4-hour candle. Most of the time, if you don't see follow through on that and you come back down to these lows, that's kind of a red flag that in hindsight you can be like, oh, I guess I should have just seen that as the failure. And if that 4-hour higher low off the 12 EMA does fail, that's just daily consolidation looking to shape up, and we're looking to daily 12 EMA, and that is that. So we have got no structure on the hourly. 4 hours, not super clear. Let's find a clear picture. 15-minute. In the short term, we got 15-minute 12 EMA, 15-minute downtrend. Bulls hoping to have created enough room for a 15-minute trend change from here to try to save that 4-hour 12 EMA after breaking this flush low without follow through here. Let's see, LITH. I don't know if I've heard of that one. LITH USDT. We'll look at KuCoin. Let's check our volume, make sure. Yeah, it's not the most liquid, but that seems like a fine enough exchange. Maybe not. That's awfully wiki. Let me see. I guess that's how everybody's looking. We'll stick with KuCoin. So anytime I'm looking at a new chart, bigger picture, I zoom on out. Quarterly bounce underway. Tons of room for a quarterly lower high compared to all-time highs. We have a monthly stair step straight off the low. We're testing monthly 12 EMA. We have got a weekly uptrend with weekly 12 EMA support. So that's going to be my bigger picture guide right there. When you see you've got something clear, you can say, all right, bulls are chilling as long as weekly 12 EMA is support. Zooming into the daily, we've got daily 12 EMA support. Wow, this is a crazy mover. It looks like I don't have a log on, but I do. So typically when you see that, that's when you know these moves are just massive, 100% in a day. So key support down here is going to be 84.78. That daily higher low. If that's lost, that's weekly consolidation looking to shape on up. And I would anticipate a daily EQ here. So anything below 1806 going to be a daily lower high, and anticipating something like that. And if it breaks bear, weekly consolidation underway. If it breaks bull, then we are looking back to 1975 and 24 as the next resistances. So very far away still at this point. Zooming into the 4 hour, got to little 4 hour downtrend confirmed without follow through, but we're still in a daily inside bar. So nothing's really changing unless that changes at this point. All right, let's keep moving through. Looking for D-Lee Crypto, checking out AVAX. Did link at the beginning of the stream. So if you scroll back or zoom back, whatever you want to call it, you'll hear some link talk. So AVAX, another one of our names where are we going to be shocked if a 6-month lower high compared to 147 shapes up? No, we're not. And what's going to need to happen for that to shape up? Weekly 12 EMA is going to need to be lost. Weekly uptrend is going to need to be lost. At this point, we got bulls trying to form a weekly higher low off of 12 EMA to keep things nice and healthy. And if we look into the daily time frame, it's actually not wildly different from SOL. If we look at SOL, topped out same time, and we got the daily EQ, it's a lot clearer on SOL, and we have a little bit more relative strength. But AVAX, same deal. Let's see, how would I want to view it? Might need to go to the 2-day for clarity. High, low, lower high, not technically set yet, but close. So I'll just draw this on here. Got this EQ. If that breaks bullish, weekly higher low set. If it breaks bearish, then we're potentially losing weekly 12 EMA for the first time in a while. That'll create room for bears to form a weekly lower high the next bounce and basically get monthly consolidation underway, and then bears would have to do it all over again on the monthly time frame. So in the 4 hour, we're pretty tight here. Let's see, got a little 12-hour EQ within that 2-day EQ, high, low, lower high, higher low. If this breaks bear, that's technically our 2-day lower high getting set, and we'd be looking back down to 31.12. And if it breaks bull, then we're looking to see if we can test the highs of last week all the way up at 41.85. So again, to kind of touch back on what we were talking about at the beginning of the stream, you can have a bear bias and take clear bull trades. You can have a bull bias and take clear bear trades. To talk about Dan's MSOS trade earlier today, you know, he's long cannabis. He's very long cannabis. But after this pullback from the highs, he said, okay, well, I'm going to short. I'm going to top fish the highs and protect my positions. And, you know, does he wish death upon the MJ space? Is he bearish MJ? No, he's not. He's bullish. But as traders, we got to just kind of treat this stuff without bias. So looking at AVAX, you know, you got very clear levels to be playing off of if bulls are to show up and set a healthy weekly higher low. Because we could be talking in a few weeks, you know, up 200% from where we are. I guess that's more in a few weeks. That's more like a few months. But I wouldn't be shocked at all to see that. And I wouldn't be shocked at all to see that. I don't make predictions. I do not make predictions. I dream a little bit, and then I put myself in a situation where I can benefit if that dream ends up playing out. And then I protect myself by selling partial positions, getting risk-free, and then going from there. You can't fail once you're risk-free. So say you sold Bitcoin and you got the sell the news, you were right on top of it, and you've got a nice comfy short, and you want to hedge your short position. Well, maybe you're looking at some of these alts that are looking for weekly higher lows off 12 EMA to try to ride up for some bounce. And as to what we end up getting, who knows? Nobody knows. Anybody who tells you that they know is fooling themselves and trying to fool you as well. Let's see. Jing hates Link. Dude, Dino coin, whatever. I don't care personally. I do not care. I am a trader, and anything that is going to go up 133% in 4 weeks, that's sweet. That's sweet, and that's all I'm here for as a trader. And I think investing in any of this stuff is super high risk. Super high risk. Aside from Bitcoin, you know, all of these altcoins can go to zero. And if you don't think it can happen to your coin, then again, you're fooling yourself. So you talk all the crap you want about Link, but off the top here, pull back 30%. It's a beautiful trader. If you're an active trader, you love even the dumpiest of dump coins. You know, I know a trader who made 6 figures in one day on SHIB, shorting this top on the pullback. And I guess this kind of fits the narrative of you know, shorting dumpers or whatever, but he shorted SHIB on the parabolic move up, and then he rolled it long into Doge and made an insane amount of money. And I think we can all agree that both of them don't do crap. You know, maybe Doge has a little hope with the Elon tie, but the coin doesn't matter if you're a trader. If you're an investor, then I have no advice for you. All right, HBAR for Mark. HBAR USDT. So HBAR, similar, looking for a weekly high or low. Potential weekly cup and handle psychology. We did break the right side of the cup, or the left side of the cup with the right, so it's not technically ideal, but you got a clear resistance. And now you got bulls trying for a bull flag on the weekly. And if they want to get the weekly high or low set, they need to regain a daily uptrend. So resistance is going to be 875, and kind of similar to Matic and all those other alts. I really wouldn't be shocked if we were to tighten on up from here, just because percentage-wise, you know, 14% from the daily high or low. We know these coins are volatile and can put up big days, but wouldn't be shocked to see a daily tightening range. And then if the tightening range breaks bullish, bulls are chilling, everything's fine, fresh weekly high or low set. If it breaks bearish, then bears creating enough room for a weekly lower high next bounce and potential first sign of monthly consolidation. Let's see. Got more dino talk in there. Oh, we've got a donation from Awaken to the One. Thank you, sir, for your financial support. I'm going to get some ramen packets and protein powder with them. For those that don't know, Awaken to the One has the best gym in Western North Carolina. He's a gym manager. Very, very impressive stuff he's got over there. All right. Let's see, RNDR breakout. Let's see what we've got. RNDR breakout. So RNDR setting its daily high or low. We know this is one of our coins within proximity to all-time highs. It's not a blue sky bull yet, but in crypto, that's not too far away. And we've got bulls trying to shape up a weekly high or low, but same structure as many of these other alts. We had the bounce off the low, we had the lower high, and now bulls need the uptrend. But after you retrace half of the move up, your odds of getting the uptrend are lower. So I wouldn't be shocked here to see a daily tightening range. So daily bounce is underway. Daily resistance is 439.8. And let's see if we got a 4-hour uptrend. I mean, it depends how technical you want to get. This wick is down below this one. So if you're being stingy about it, you say that's not a 4-hour uptrend. I want to see that to be confident. If you want to give bulls the benefit of the doubt, you can say that's a double bottom into an uptrend there. So 15-minute uptrend short term, 12 EMA guide. When that's lost, that'll be the first sign of 4-hour consolidation shaping on up. All right, ASTR USDT. And then I will have to wrap things up. Let's see, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I don't go live till 3:15, but gotta get a little breather before. This doesn't look right. ASTR USDT. There we are. So ASTR, another one of our stronger bouncers off of the lows, and bulls trying to shape up a healthy weekly higher low. So if we break 1650, that'll be set. and we'll have a new line in the sand down at 1127, and we're seeing nice relative strength here. So that 1650 is the high of last week. If bulls can do that, you know, you could say quick little daily uptrend there, but when I'm less eager to give a dinky pivot the designation of being a trend change if you're not breaking the high of the larger time frame previous bar. I know that might sound like a mouthful, but let's look in here. So on ASTR last week, when that dinky trend change happened, the high of the previous week was all the way up here. So when you get that dinky little trend change, you know, you say like, okay, well, daily uptrend confirmed, weekly higher low set, right? Well, for the higher low to get set, you have to break the high of the previous week. So no higher low set there. And if the trend change isn't setting the higher low, then I'm less inclined to give it the full confidence of what we should gather from understanding, okay, a trend change happened. What are the implications for us? So it doesn't mean we don't look at the support. It doesn't mean that we don't acknowledge that bulls are doing well, but you want to see something clearer. And in something clearer and something that tells the same story as your other timeframes, you're in the nested relationships that they all have. So if that all sounds jacked and confusing, go to our YouTube. There's a playlist called Joey Webinars. The first one goes over all that stuff, and it's the framework that everything else operates on, is multiple time frame analysis, at least with how, you know, Dan and myself go about doing all of this. So daily higher low support, 1404 on ASTR, and then we're just looking up to that 1650, and after that 1908. So bulls are looking good. Let's look at ASTR BTC, see if we have any clues. So we're already above that daily resistance. So that is like bullish divergence between your ratio chart and your USD pairing. So that's what bulls like to see. Is this going to be an early signal? The ASTR USD is going to follow? Probably. Oftentimes it is. We'll have to wait and find out, but probably. All right. Flip side, wondering when money from the miners is going to go into BTC ETFs. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out, because like Mara, Riot, Coin, MSTR were all essentially stock market proxies to a degree for Bitcoin. But now that we have actual Bitcoin proxies, are those going to just die off? I don't know. Time will tell. I got no predictions. Revi TIA is ultra bullish. It is. That's like one of our lead bulls here up in blue skies. Let's see what else we got here. Only cryptos with an ETF will survive. Time will tell. A lot of people like to make predictions. I do not. I like to make nice trades. All right, we got Woo USDT. Woo USDT. Haven't looked at this one, so we'll start zoomed out. So we got, I don't know, say quarterly uptrend, but another one where it wouldn't be shocking to see this 6-month lower high. We have got a weekly uptrend with weekly 12 EMA support. We got bulls trying to shape up the weekly higher low. Technically, it's already set with the break of this candle on this candle, but let's see what our daily time frame is telling us. Daily time frame is telling us that we're still just kind of sideways. You can kind of just treat this as a sideways like balance area, you know, something like that. And we got to either break above to get the weekly higher low set with confidence, then we're just looking up to the high of the bounce, 52.60. Or if we break down, we're looking to that weekly higher low that is technically set. And if it were to be lost, that'd be the first sign of 6-month lower highs. Same thing as many coins at this point. Many coins have a similar structure, so it might sound like I'm just repeating myself, because I am, because we're looking at the same thing. You can look at your coin and some of these other coins and like compare relative strength, relative weakness to determine if you're positioned where you ought to be or not. And that's kind of the same thing. Let's see, Fox Wolf. Is there a too long, didn't read of is the top in? Yes, we need to lose monthly uptrends if the top is to be in. So we're very far away from anything like that at this point. You know the title. Sorry, everybody, a little bit of clickbait. We've got to play the game with the algos. It just is the nature of the beast here. So with that, hit that like button, please, after I admit to clickbaiting y'all. But it's not pure clickbait. I mean, this is a serious question that as a trader in the space, I see sell the news on a known event and all of that stuff. I'm like, okay, well, is this going to be the 6-month lower high? So I'm looking for it. I'm looking for the signs, but you got to go one trend at a time. Daily downtrend, weekly downtrend, monthly downtrend. So bulls have all trends in their favor there. Let's see here. Got a message from Dan. Let me make sure he's alive. He had some scary vertigo earlier. So he hit me up. I'm just making sure that if he dropped off the face of the earth, I could go, feed his body to his dog or something. Or feed his dog. I don't remember which. All right, 2:52. I am going to have to wrap things up here. Thank you all for the support. Thank you for tuning on in. And we'll see you next time. Probably Thursday or something like that. And or if we get any major changes. But right now, dinky bounce for BTC, potential daily bear flag. If a daily bear flag confirms, look into weekly 12 EMA. If weekly 12 EMA is lost, that's where everyone kind of looks around and says, oh, is this a 6-month lower high shaping on up? One step at a time. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.